Hi there, welcome to Own Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, I am going to be sharing some stuff with you that I've been up to this week. And then I've got a couple of new books that I'm going to share, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to work on today, because I have a lot of whips, like a lot of whips right now, and I really need to get some work done on those. I just keep starting new pages, and I'm not finishing what I need to finish, but anyway, let me take a sip of my tea and we'll get started. Okay, new books. I have this week decided that I'm going to color some cute and cozy books, and then I started coloring them and really enjoyed it, so I bought some more because I have a problem. So I bought the Little Friends by Southern Lotus, and I only got this one because there's a cow in it, and I like cows. But the illustrations are pretty cute. So I recently watched a video by Cat and Paste where she broke down her books like according to difficulty level. And what she was saying, so these cute and cozy ones were at the highest, like the top, like the hardest for her to color as far as difficulty level. Because you have to have a lot of, I mean, you don't have to, but depending on how you want to color these, you need a lot of skill to make them look nice. For those out there that just want to use their alcohol markers and cover it with color and be done, that's great. Like, coloring is for however you want to color. But if you are so inclined to make these look a little bit more artistic, I guess, I don't know what the right word is. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge and know-how, and I'm learning that as I've been coloring these this week. I've really been learning that point. But I'm excited to do that, and I'm not going crazy with these. I got 4 new books, and they're just really cute. This one is Vivi Tinta, which I like this one too. Pretty adorable. It's adorable. So yeah, I'm excited to color these. I think these are going to be fun. This is Fuzzy Tails. And then I got Cute Winter and Cute Fall from Anna, what is it? Anna Emilia? Yeah, Anna Emilia. Because I have 2 of her other books and I really like her art style. And you know, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference in the art style in these books, but hers are, I don't know, there's something about her pictures that are just, they're just overall cute. Like, there's nice scenes and nice creatures and nice, you know, little things here and there for you to color. And I just really like that. And this book is a mix of some with like simple characters and some with whole scenes. So I like that too, because then you can, you know, depending on how you're feeling, you could do a background, you could not do a background. That page is cute. But yeah, so I really liked both of these books. And I like her other ones too. So yeah, Anna Emilia, I think, is my favorite that I've seen so far. And then I also saw this book and thought I would try it. And I'm kind of disappointed because they are all Shutterstock images, but the paper is kind of nice, so I don't mind it so much. And they do kind of stick with a theme and a general feel that's the same throughout. So I'm not as upset that it's all Shutterstock images because of that, but like this one and this one don't mesh with the rest of the artworks. And I don't love that the artists themselves can't be named. But, you know, if you put your art on Shutterstock, I guess, you know, that's what it's there for. But it's kind of I don't know. The paper seems nice. And they have a whole series of books. So if you just want something to, you know, to color, yeah, there's a whole series there. But I saw this and I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And then I got it and I was like, oh, it's all Shutterstock. It does specifically say in the front that it is Shutterstock though. So, but yeah, there's some nice images in here that I do like. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like, I'm all for supporting the artists and, you know, making sure that they get paid for their time, paid for their ideas. I don't really know how Shutterstock works other than I think you pay per image or I don't know. But I'd be interested to know what you guys think about that. So anyway, I got Boho Dreams. Then I also got Catitude. So this past week I released my Camilla d'Errico video ranking her books and sharing my completed pages and stuff. And I had seen a flip through or just a few pages on somebody else's channel with this book. And it's so cute. There's a couple pages in here that I would rather not color, like the ones where they're cleaning themselves. I don't need to color those ones, but like there's a lot of really, really cute things in here to color. Like Super Cat, come on. Yeah, so I do like several of these, and this one's, I think, one of my favorites, this Gandalf cat. I mean, it's just, and this one, I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but it's just funny. She's just got such a good sense of humor. One of my favorites in the book is the cats with cucumbers. So if you're not familiar with that, there's videos out there where, is it cucumbers or pickles? I don't know. Here it is. Anyway, there's videos out there where you put a pickle or a cucumber or something behind a cat and they turn around and they see it and they like freak out. And I saw this page and I just started laughing. I thought it would be so funny to color and just, I don't know, and then just watch videos of cats doing that while I'm coloring or something. I don't know. It's a really cute book, and just like all her others, it's adorable. So yeah, I had to get it. So I got that one. I also purchased a couple new drawing gum and masking fluid things. I got these ones because they're tinted, and the other masking fluid I have is not tinted, which was really frustrating because I missed a whole bunch. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I missed a whole bunch of spots on my page where I was using the drawing gum last week, or the stuff last week. So I thought I would try these and see how it goes. Yeah, I just got these mostly because they were tinted. So we'll see. And then I also, from Shell's Coloring Journey, she had recommended using these silicone brushes. So at the tips, instead of brushes, it's like this little silicone bit. And then she said when she's done using these with the masking fluid that she can just peel off the masking fluid off the top of this. And after completely ruining the brush that I tried to use last week, I was like, okay, well, that seems like a better idea than having to use a new brush every time I want to apply masking fluid. So yeah, I feel like this is a good idea, and I'm going to try that out and see if that works. Okay, so that's all the new stuff. So then, like, things that I worked on last week, you saw me start this page. So I did the background with you guys. I've used Distress ink on the bee. I might come in and do a little bit of shading on the bee today. That might be something we could do to finish. I feel like I need to do something else in the background. I just am not sure what yet. So that's still kind of been in my mind. I just feel like it needs more layers of something. I'm not sure what, but yeah, so I got that done. And then in the Magical Worlds one, so I finished off the background, and you can see how badly I did with the masking fluid. Like, all these planets have just like large chunks of blue all over them. And I feel like I'll be able to cover it up with, not too many issues with water-based markers and pencils and everything, but it's still frustrating. Like, I really like this little corner up here, and I wanted the whole page to look like that, but yeah, I got real frustrated as I was peeling this stuff off. So that's a little upsetting, but like I said, that's why I got those other masking fluids that hopefully will help me on future projects, because I really want to use the masking fluid on this page. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so I did put a video out there about funky florals. I finally did the video flip through for the book, and then I also showed you how I go about doing mixed media pages in here. So you guys have seen that one, and then the other one I did this week, nope, that's the watercolor one. The other one I did this week is this one. And I used acrylic paint and markers, and I've got pieces of pattern, like scrapbook paper, kind of in places. I use paint markers. Yeah, I really had fun with this one. You know, as I was doing it, I just kept thinking, you know, every time I did something new, I was like, oh gosh, I've totally just ruined this and I hate it and it's awful. And then as it started, you know, as I kept working towards things, I was like, okay, it's not so bad. I kind of like it. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. I really like all the different layers in this. Yeah, you know, it's not a super awesome, you know, piece of art or anything, but it's interesting and it was fun. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me. That's what I really need. I need interesting and fun. And I think both of these mixed media pages that I've done in here are, you know, that basically. So yeah, I'm going to do, like I said, this book is going to be just a combination of things. So I will do more mixed media pieces. I will do pages like this one back here where I've got, you know, this is all water-based markers, but then just spread out with a water brush. So I'll come in and do some shading on this and stuff too. There are a few pages in here that I will color, you know, just normally, but like, especially like these full page ones, these ones will get some kind of mixed media something or other on them. Because I don't love the full wallpaper pages. So those ones will not be ones that I would be interested in just sitting down and coloring for the most part. So yeah. And this paper is really great, especially for like the water-based markers. It's really nice. And it, you know, and alcohol markers too, you know, since it's technically single-sided, since one side of, you know, like this image is the same image just in grayscale on the back. So if you wanted to do like no line coloring, this is where you would go for that. But on the opposite side, you can, you know, go to town with whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Had a lot of fun with that. So yeah, those are the two videos I had, was the Funky Florals and my Camilla d'Errico rank and rate videos. So other work that I did this week, I worked a little bit more in Dragon Spell. I got some more done on this whip, which really I only have the flowers down here, the little guy, and a little bit more in the background to do. I really like how my dragon turned out. I think she's very pretty. She's very glittery. I put a little too much glitter, but I do like it. I think it turned out cool. And then I also started this one because I really wanted to have a TARDIS under the ocean. For those of you who don't know what a TARDIS is, I'm very sad that you don't. But it's in Doctor Who, it's his telephone box that he is also his spaceship. So, yeah, Doctor Who is one of I love that show and have loved it for a really long time. And just thought when I saw this phone box, that's what I thought of, was the TARDIS immediately. So that's all I've done so far, though. I haven't done any more, I don't think. Nope, that's still the same amount. That's still the same amount. So yeah, so I'm going to be starting on the color along in this book this week so that I can get it done before the end of the month. Very excited about that. And then I worked in, no, I didn't work in this one. I have one picked out for that one. I worked in these two books. Oh no, I've got the other one. I'll have to go get it. Hang on a sec. Okay, so these are the two by Anna Amelia. This is by this one. So I had a whip in here for a really long time, and I finally finished that up. So I finished that one, which I thought turned out pretty cute. And then I've got this one that's a whip. I don't know what I'm doing with this unicorn. I don't like it. And I might not finish this page, but that's what I've done so far. I do like the tree. I think the tree is cool. And the sky and the brickwork and stuff. But I was like, what is happening with this guy? So I'm going to have to try to fix it, but yeah. So I'm learning a lot. Like, it's not super easy to just sit down and color these things. So this was the very first one I did. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little too many dots for me. But like I was taking ideas, you know, from those little tutorials and stuff that you can find online. And yeah, it just seemed like too much. And then my markers, I was working with a limited amount of markers too, so I had to work with what I had, but it's okay. It's not my favorite. Then I did this one, and it was okay. Again, I mixed in some pencils in there a little bit, like these little frogs are colored with pencils. Added a little bit of extra texture to the background with some pencils. Yeah, it's okay. And then this last one, which is my favorite, but I also almost directly copied the author's page that she did of hers like this. The colors are a little bit different, but like her placement of like these random dots and stuff on the leaves and things, I followed that. I like this one the most, but I don't know. I'm still learning, you know? So then in this one, I did a page 2. I did this one, and I do like it. It's cute. Added in some, you know, a little pattern on her dress. Didn't go super crazy with the dots in the in the shrubs. Again, I'm trying to work with what markers I have, so you get a sunset sky instead of a blue sky. But yeah, this one's better for sure. But yeah, so those are the sweet and simple ones I've done, and they really are a little more challenging than I expected them to be, because I want them, I don't want to just flat color, which if you do, again, that's totally fine and absolutely what you should do, but that's not how I like to color, and it's not how I like my pages to look when I'm done. So I usually take all those stupid extra steps, and I've come to realize that all of the guiding lines that are in all of our coloring books really, really help me a lot. But I'm still, like I said, learning, having fun. Even if I don't, you know, necessarily love the result, I've still learned something from it. So, okay, last little bit to talk about. Lulu's House of Wonder book is going to be a full book color along. Now, I hopefully will have released a little video about this before today. But yeah, I've decided this is going to be a full book color along. I'm going to be randomly picking, for the most part, randomly picking a page in this each month to color. And so each month or each time, I'm not going to say each month, because it might be more than once in a month. It might not happen that month, but for sure, every page that I color in this will be recorded and on the channel. So first one up is this cute little one, which I'm excited about. I think it's adorable. I am a little unsure what this thing is in the background. I thought maybe it was like a muffin or a cupcake. But the house is like, it's oddly shaped, so I'm not sure what it is. I might turn it into like a little cupcake. I think that's probably the direction I'll go, but I think it's so cute. I mean, every page in this book is adorable. So yeah, excited to work in this, and excited to get that going. So yeah, so 2 color alongs to film for you guys still in this month, but I am up for the challenge. I'm ready for that. Okay, let me figure out what I want to work on today. Okay, so I'm going to work in Magical Worlds. This is a buddy color that I need to work on. And since this other side is going to be kind of a solid whole page color, I'm going to do a little bit looser style on this side. When I do my pages, I like to have, if I have one side that's a full cut page, like full of color, I like to have the page next to it not be. Just so that it gives your eyes a place to rest as you're flipping through the book. It's just something, I feel like I read it somewhere, or I don't know, heard about it somewhere, and I just seemed like the smart thing to do. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I am going to grab a backer page, and I am going to work with, I'm tempted to work with watercolors, but I think I'm going to work with my Inktense because I just feel more comfortable with them but we're gonna do a little bit of a background, I think, with these. All right, and this is me just doing this, like, I don't have a plan. I don't have a color palette in mind, which is worrying because I normally do, but we're just gonna go for it and see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of sherbet lemon, and we're gonna go around this moon a little bit. I'm going pretty lightly because these are bright. I could just pick it up off the palette, but which is why I got the palette out, so I should probably use it. I think I will on the next little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and activate that. I'm doing the yellow first because I know for sure that I want to have like a darker blue. And so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this sky, and then I'm gonna come in with maybe some acrylic paints or some gouache if I can find where I put my gouache, and try to paint in some clouds because I haven't really used the gouache a whole lot, but I feel like it would be a good thing to do to add in some clouds in the background. Okay, so for this part, I am picking up my Inktense off of my palette here. And that makes it, ooh, super, super bright. Great. That is not what I intended to do. And that is what we got. So there we go. That's a super bright light. Holy cow. I should have added some extra water to that for sure. Goodness. Holy cow. Yeah, this is the color that I was going for more, not. Alrighty. That's what it is. Okay. Well, that's fun. All right, let's try that again with some other colors. All right, I've got some colors here that we're gonna try. Hopefully that didn't bleed through. It shouldn't bleed through. Okay, so I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna use the palette. We're gonna try to play with the palette today and see how it goes. So we don't need a lot of pigment, as we just found out, and we do want to water it down a little bit. So that's good to know. So that it's not quite as bright when I go to apply it. Yeah, that's kind of the consistency that I was wanting. So yeah, I'm just gonna add in a little bit of this green around here. Now remember, this is gonna look like a hot mess at first, because that's what happens when I use water mediums. It always looks crazy to start with. But as we go through, it should blend nicely together. You know, like, I don't really have a plan on this either, so that's interesting. I've not started a page in a while where I didn't have some kind of plan with how I wanted things to go. Okay, now we're gonna come in with a little bit of this. So I used a field green to mix in with the, I'm just going over these plants because I'll end up coming over that top of that with some water-based markers or something. It'll be interesting to see how well this does with like a good watercolor, because that's basically what I'm using these as right now. These are definitely going on as a watercolor, not a pencil or anything like that. Lots of water. So since I've got a lot of water on here, I should be able to just pick some of this color straight up from the pencil and get a neat kind of, since this is a little wet down here, it should create differences. You know, technical differences. Why did I start this YouTube channel? I don't know what I'm talking about. I am just playing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's, you know, why I can do this and people are like, yeah, because it looks like, I make it look like anybody could do it. Because I'm just playing and having fun and crossing my fingers that things work out. That's all I'm ever doing. Okay, so you know what? It's been a long time since I started this video and I still have not even said hi. Hi, everyone. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. It is Friday morning for me. I have had a pretty decent week. Like I showed you all the work that I've been doing. It still hasn't felt like a ton, but I do feel like I did a pretty decent amount. Okay, that's all I want for those colors, I think. Is that all I want? No, I want a little bit more down here. I just added a little bit more to my palette, and now I can pick that up off the palette. Here, I'll kind of move this over so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is a little bit darker than that last layer. Yeah, I've kind of felt like I haven't really done a whole lot. But I have been having fun, you know, like I said, learning kind of what I need to do for those Sweet and Simple books, which kind of blew my mind. Like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go in here and color. And then I was like, well, you know, this needs a little bit of this here, or it needs something else here. Or I was like, well, I guess that this is definitely. And then I saw that video from Cat and Paste and I was like, oh, well, that explains it. If you've not checked out her channel yet, she's subtly hilarious. Her voice is super calming and she's very, you know, she's got a lot of art knowledge. If you watch her About Me, I think she said she was an art teacher or studied art. I can't remember which. So bad. My memory sucks. But she has art knowledge. And, you know, it shows definitely in her coloring. But it was interesting to listen to her, you know, opinions on, you know, how like Kirby's books, who everybody are, you know, so intimidated by. I'm definitely intimidated by. But she pointed out that, you know, he puts all of the work into it so that you just kind of have to add the color where he's kind of told you it goes. And I you know, I've noticed that in the past, you know, with the shading and stuff. I'm like, yes, that's perfect that he's added all of that in there. It's really helpful. And it does make the pages go a lot faster. But it was interesting how she broke it down. And then, you know, talking about how the Sweet and Simple ones are really the ones that are like the hardest for her. And I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I am trying to make this very I want this to be so not organic. I don't want there to be any straight edges. I want it to look crazy. I might just add some water on here, wet this all down, and then drop my color in. There we go. That's what I should have done from the start. Just drop some color in. We'll definitely see how this paper does with like lots of water. I'm almost out of water in this brush too. Gosh darn it. Let's use this other one and see what happens. This is an Arteza brush and I have no idea. Oh yeah, it does flood. So that's good to know. We'll just drop some color in there. What did I just pick up? There was like little specks of color. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let that play for a minute. I need to do something up there with that corner. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. I'm the worst at this. Trying to paint and chat never goes well for me. Why do I keep trying to do it? Yeah, so I had a good week. watched that video, made a couple of videos. I did record, next week I will have my Rita Berman completed, well, like ranked books out, which I think will be fun. And then okay. I'm just going to drop a couple of water droplets into each of those. There we go. Let that kind of do its thing. Which color do we want? I think I want this one. This seems very... Let's mix it in with that one a little bit and see what happens. Okay. Very watery. I have so much water on this brush. Trying not to go over the flowers, like the leaves and stuff will be dark enough, but I never know what I want to do with the flowers, if I want to make them white or whatever. So yeah, this is just crazy playing time right now. Drop some of that into there. So what did I do this week? I read quite a bit. Yeah, so I read a couple really good books. I read one that was, so if you like, I mean, it is, my typical, fantasy driven story, but this one was about the afterlife and like different levels of hell and stuff. There was still a romance worked in there, but this book was super, like, way heavier than I am normally like to read, because I like my stuff light-hearted and funny and, yes, romancy, but this was like, this got deep, and I was not sure how I felt about a lot of that. But like I said, interesting, very interesting to read it. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. I need to put something behind there because I don't want the water to affect the page underneath this, but I do want to be able to move my book around a little bit more so I can move that water around. Anyway, so I'll put the names of the books that I read this week up if you guys are interested. All of them do have some spice, just FYI, but I gave the Hell book is what I kept calling it. It's called For Whom the Bell Tolls, which I just liked that because it's a Metallica song, but I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool book, not really realizing that it was just because it's a Metallica song. I mean, I did probably realize that, but yeah, so I read that one. I gave that one 4 stars just because it was super deep, and I didn't want to read a lot of that stuff. So I did skip some things where, like, they were going into her darker past or history, and it starts out really rough. Like, there's trigger warnings and stuff that everybody needs to read if you're at all interested in trying this book out. Definitely do that. But I gave it 4 stars because I did enjoy the rest of the story. Okay, I'm going to let this dry just a little bit and see what else I can work on, because I don't want to saturate the page too much. I need to let this dry in between. So I like that so far. I think that's fun. Okay, let's figure out something else I can work on then, because I don't want to just stand here and wait. And I don't want to use my heat gun because I don't know, it always feels like it makes the page warp way faster, and it's frustrating. So I'm going to set this aside. Let's play with this one. I started using Albrecht Dürer's in this book. So maybe I could use some Inktense to darken things up. Let's try it. Let's try it. So I kind of want to work on the, no, I need to do the background first, don't I? Oh, I've got my paint pens down here. Maybe that's a good time to use paint pens. Okay, let me grab some pencils. I've got my Black Widows here. That's always a good pencil for me. We'll see how they do. I want to try to recreate a little bit of the sky here, so I need a little bit of a darker shade in there. And my Black Widows they just have so many different colors. So let's see what we got back here. Other books that I read this week. I read a book called Potions and Prejudice, which was very good. I gave that 5 stars, which I haven't done that for a book in a while. This one was basically a Pride and Prejudice retelling, but it was with witches. So it was, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun reading it, and yeah, I would definitely recommend that to anybody who likes those kind of books. You know, you do have to like that stuff. What am I trying to grab? I need something more gold. I kind of like that olive brown. Where's that one? Okay, let's try these guys. And I'm just trying to follow the example. Like, this is just going to help me learn where I need to put shadows and stuff in clouds. And then I am reading now. Oh, and that author has a whole bunch, like a whole series of those books. She's going to have one coming out soon that is based on Sense and Sensibility. She's got one that is, I don't know what the other one is. Maybe it's like Emma. I think it might be Emma, like a retelling of Emma. But then she also has fairy tale ones, which I have not read those yet, so I don't know. But I did enjoy her writing style. She was funny. She was heartfelt. Just, you know, good dialogue. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think if, you know, normally if I like an artist's work like that, then I'm good to go with their other books. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but okay, I'm not sure how I'm liking this, but we're just gonna keep going and see if we can get this done. I will be coming in with a lot of paint markers too, to see how close I can get like the skyline and stuff to the original. I know it's not going to be perfect, and I'm really using the original just for like shadow and color placement and highlights and stuff to the best of my ability. Like, I'm not going to be so upset if it doesn't look exactly the same. I have never done one of these, and I thought it was way past time for me to try. And these Black Widows are good pencils to layer, so I'm hoping that will be helpful too. What else did I do? We went and saw Superman last weekend. It was amazing. I am not, like, I'm a Marvel girl, you know, pretty much through and through. But I will say James Gunn did an exceptional job on making this feel like it was a comic book movie. Like, it was good, and the Superman himself is just something special. he's real good at his Supermaning. I need a color. I'm going to use like, I don't know if I want to use a pink or maybe this deep purple. Let me try that color. Where's that? Well, that color is missing from my set, which is very upsetting because I don't know where it is. Yeah, that's frustrating. All right, well, let me try, what is this one? Amethyst. No, I'm going to try the lavender, I think. Okay, we're going to try this one. See if I can get like that. It's almost like a reddish brown kind of color. So I'm just very gently using this. Oh, I think that's kind of creating that color. That's neat. Yay, color theory. Anyway, Superman was awesome. I have also been watching this new dungeon. Well, it's not new. So Dungeons and Dragons streaming is huge. For those of you who don't know, like there are so many different streams that you can watch, podcasts you can listen to. It's crazy. And, you know, it's all thanks to Critical Role, who kind of got that back into the mainstream, you know, nerd awareness, I guess. But there is a company? Yeah, we'll say company, called Dimension 20 or Dropout. It's called Dropout, and they have a show called Dimension 20. And it is a Dungeons and Dragons stream with improv actors. And it's so funny and so good. And the DM is Brennan Lee Mulligan, and he's just fantastic. And so their new campaign that they just started is called Cloudward Ho. And normally their campaigns are shorter in duration, but they're extending this one to be a longer one. And I'm very excited. I'm so invested already in these characters. And my daughter, my oldest, and I have been watching this together and just love it. We love it and have just been enjoying the heck out of it. So if you are in the, you know, the deciding stages on if you would like to watch some kind of Dungeons and Dragons streaming game, I would say check out Dimension 20. Any of their games are really good, but especially the ones that are DM'd by Brennan Lee Mulligan. Like they're amazing. There's one series that they have that is basically like the Breakfast Club, but with monsters. So they like go to high school and it follows them throughout their years in high school. I think they just did junior year recently. So they have freshman, sophomore, and junior year out there. They have another one that's like, it's Game of Thrones, but with like the people in the characters in it are all food and like candy. Which just sounds so stupid, but it's so good. The way that they play it, it's like I got so into this. And when like characters would die, I mean, it's like Game of Thrones, you know, where you like people die and you're like, what? That's not supposed to happen. This is a character that shouldn't die. And yeah, it's crazy. It was really good. But yeah, that's another streaming thing that you guys should check out if you haven't already, is Dimension 20. I've been watching a little bit of the new Critical Role as well. So they have a game that is from their company. It's a new role-playing game called Daggerheart. And so that's been kind of interesting to watch as well. It's a really dark, scary game, which is not the norm. I mean, and it still has some funny moments because it's Critical Role, but it's a lot darker than I was expecting it to be. And it is pretty interesting still though. So yeah, if you like darker things, check that one out. That's really it. Like I haven't done a ton. Oh, my youngest got a haircut, which was really cute. We went to a fancy salon, which we had never, like we go to a salon, but it's not a fancy one. It's like an everyday kind of beauty salon. You know, you walk in and there's, I don't know. It's a nice place because the lady that we like has been there for a really long time, and she's been cutting my hair since I got married. So we go see her, but I'm not overly worried about my hair a lot. So I don't get it cut as often as I should. I usually, it's like every couple of years normally when I do. I can't do that with my youngest hair, like, because they have super, super curly hair and it needs constant upkeep. And so we went to a fancy salon, and it's like downtown in this cool neighborhood, and like you get there and there's like graffiti all over the walls and in the neighborhood and stuff, and it's like good graffiti, not like scary graffiti, but like good graffiti. And yeah, it's just fun. It was really fun, and we really liked the lady that came to, that we found, and she is a curly hair specialist, so that's exciting. Wanted to make sure that we had that, that set for her, because we needed somebody to tell us what the heck to do with all that hair. We've been trying for years without any real guidance, and yeah, so okay, I'm gonna set this aside and see how my other page, see if it's dry. It is not. Okay, so we're gonna do some paint marker work, I think. Okay, I have a couple paint markers, so hopefully these ones will do what I'm wanting. So yeah, it was a good experience getting her hair cut, and she really enjoyed it. And I do need to blend these a little bit, I think, more. Yeah, so like I said, next week I'm gonna try to do the start those color longs, get both of those done. And then next week we also have, I think it's basically like my kiddos last week of being home. They start school really soon, and then, yeah, all this stuff is happening. I'm not looking forward to the end of this summer. I don't really want it to end. I feel like this is too thick, but we're just gonna keep playing with this and see see what happens with this one too. So yeah, today's just been playing, which I think is fine. This whole week has just been kind of learning what to do and what not to do, which I feel like is something that, is good to happen. Like, you need to be aware of that stuff. I did start reading a new book too. So it is called, I think it's called Direbound, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's like so far, I'm not very far into it, but so far it's like a mix between like Hunger Games and what's the one with the factions? Oh shoot, it's gonna slip my brain. They made it into a movie, and it was not as good of, the movies weren't nearly as good as the books. It's got the main guy is 4, son of a gun. Anyway, that movie, and yeah, it's kind of a mix between those, and I have been enjoying it quite a bit. Is that still wet? Tap some of this lighter stuff up there and see what happens. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so far, and it's a mix between those and then a little bit like Fourth Wing thrown in there, but it's all with dire wolves instead of like dragons or something. So it's kind of interesting so far. I do like the writing. Again, it is dark and bloody, which isn't always my favorite kind of thing to read, but I don't know. I guess if the story's good, then I can get behind it that way. But yeah, I'm liking the main character. She's tough, and she's trying to take care of her sister, and yeah, so it's a good mix between all of those stories. But it's nice on its own too. Yeah, it definitely has bits and pieces that I feel are very firmly represented in other popular books. But really, I mean, I feel like a lot of books are like that. Like, it's hard for you to write an original book now, because there's so many books out there. I don't love how this is looking. I feel like maybe that orangey color was not or that yellowy color was not quite right. I do like this highlight color that I've picked. I really like these brush tip markers so much better than those little plastic tips. I don't love them as much. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out with this. So this is pretty dry. Can I color on top of that? I can. Let me know if you guys have approached, if you guys have done these kind of books and what your approach was to it, or if you just kind of did whatever. I'd be interested to hear the different approaches. I feel like this just needs to be knocked back a little bit more. So I feel like maybe it needs more gray, or maybe I feel like it's a little too bright up in here. So I'm just gonna try to dull it down a little. Yeah, so I'm gonna play with this a little bit more and then probably call it for today, because I feel like I talked your ear off and now I'm all talked out. I'm hoping that tomorrow is a little bit better day for me, because I have a wedding shower to go to for one of my beautiful little cousins, but they're more like nieces. So I've got to figure out. So they are asking for, instead of like gifts and stuff, they're asking for like donations to like a travel fund. And I was like, that's really fun. That's an idea, fun idea. But I still want to make something for them. And I have to do it today because the shower's tomorrow. But I'm trying to think of what I want to do. And I couldn't come up with anything for like the longest time. And I just wasn't sure. And I don't know, I'm thinking of like some kind of little thing with their names on it. They're very into like horror movies and games and things like that. So maybe like drawing like a little, like one of those scary mask guys, but cute. And like putting their name on it or something. I'm not sure what I want to do. All right, I don't hate that. Let's try to add some white in there and see if that brightens it up even more. I feel like it will. It's hard to, really hard to recreate this though with pencil and, you know, these supplies instead of like a paint. I mean, it would be hard to create with the paint too, because I don't know how to paint, but yeah, it's not super easy to do it this way. Let me try one more thing. All right, I'm going to try something with a little bit of marker. See if that does anything. I just feel like it needs to be a little more gray, and I feel like that marker will definitely help with that. Yeah, definitely not the same. But interesting, good, I don't know, is that right? I can come over this with a little bit of this yellowy brown color to try to knock it back a little bit, because some of this is kind of bright. I don't know. Well, there's that. I'll probably keep working on it. I just don't want, I can see all the little bits and pieces of it, and that's frustrating. So maybe I'm going to have to come in here with Prismacolors or something to be able to blend it the way that I want. I don't know. I am going to use this here too, because I meant to do this already. I'm just dulling some of the colors to make it look like it's in shadow a little bit more, especially through that area. Yeah, okay. Well, there's a little bit of progress on that. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see how we're doing on the other thing. I think we're gonna have to call it for today though, because I feel like this is a long video and my phone has not really liked me doing that. So I'll play with this a little bit more while I'm editing, and hopefully have something more to show you than that when we at the end of the video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Thanks for hanging out with me and helping me work on some stuff. And yeah, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.